Welcome back, 1036, right here in the heart of the River Bend on this 5th day of January. Trigger Talent, Mark Magos right in front of me. Sir, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm hanging in there, you know. I can't figure out my sound today. I've messed up every music bed I've had today. It's okay. You know, you can't be perfect all the time.
Not all the time.
But, you know, Trigger Talent is one of the classes I think so many people in town and the community have already been a part of. My parents have taken your class. They loved every minute of it. And I just want to thank you for coming on the show today. And I think it's an appropriate time to talk about the classes. And I think it's a great time, New Year. Maybe it's time to get a concealed carry.
It certainly is. And thanks for the invite, by the way. I appreciate you asking me to come on.
Oh, yeah, no worries. I mean, you guys seriously are so good at what you do. And I just got to ask you, how'd you get started? What was the idea behind this?
Well, I've been an instructor for the NRA since 1998 and shooting handguns and rifles in competition since the early 70s.
Wow.
So in the state of Illinois, which was the last state to get a concealed carry law, passed it, and they were looking for instructors. Then, of course, that's what I wanted to do.
And so initially, right off the bat, I know I was talking to you a little bit before we started the segment. It seems like people really were ready to be a part of your classes, to really jump right into it right off the bat, huh?
Yeah, it was crazy. The first couple of years, I was doing a class, 4 classes per month, and they were sold out.
Now, that's got to be a little tired. How long are your classes? It's 8 hours each day, right?
Each day for a person that's not a military or law enforcement or ex-military.
Okay.
Those people just have to serve 8.
That's really cool. I mean, to me, it's really cool also because you're actually getting a real education on from really experts. I mean, you have a great track record in shooting. I know. Take us through some of the stuff that you've done and some of the shooting before we go into the class anymore.
Okay. Well, in the early 70s, I started out with long-range handgun silhouette.
Yeah.
Which is shooting steel targets with a handgun out to 200 meters. And then shooting down at Winchester in their A League, which is a lot of fun, a lot of great shooters down there. And of course, I still go to schools in tactical shooting, and combat shooting.
That's incredible. And by the way, guys, for all of you that don't know the metric system, 656 feet is 200 meters. That's pretty damn impressive, I'd say.
Thank you.
Take us through how, just before I go back into the class a little bit, how has the sport of shooting in general kind of changed over that course of the 3 or 4 decades?
Well, the target shooting is still in effect.
Okay.
And it's just getting bigger, especially in rifles. But in handgun also, it's actually slowing down a bit in handgun because the younger shooters are not doing that.
Really?
They like the more fun games like IDPA, which is run and gun, and they're more suited for it. I shot it for a couple of years, and it's hard to keep up with these kids.
Man, I need a couple of knee braces to make it through that. Hell, I would. I don't know how they do it. Well, coming back to your classes, I mean, there's so many opportunities. I know you do a women's class, an all-women's class. I know you do a couple of different things, but for someone who's never really looked into it, that's just listening, hearing you for the first time, what can people expect signing up? What can people expect during the 2 days of learning the ins and outs of the concealed carry?
Okay, well, the first day consists of it's the NRA basic pistol course tailored down to Illinois concealed carry.
Okay.
So they learn from the ground up on how to handle and be safe with a handgun. Then the various kinds of models, how they work, aiming, firing, manipulating the handgun, it's that. And then the second day is a lot of law. Wow. And I'm really proud to say that I'm one of the few classes in the state of Illinois that actually has an attorney teach that law, because it's mandatory 4 hours at least on the law for the state of Illinois.
Wow.
And it's critically important.
It is, and it's, to me, it's just really interesting to see how the law changes from state to state. And I know that we have some pretty strict concealed carry laws, don't we?
They are strict, but actually we have a good concealed carry law.
Good.
And especially for the state of Illinois.
Yeah, that's true too.
But yeah, since our people were since we were the last state to get the law, they pretty much modeled it after a lot of other states.
Got you.
Kind of cobbled it together. But in actuality, we have a really good set of laws.
Nice. And so to me, it's one of those. So whenever people take your class that second day, I'm sure there's, going from state to state with the concealed carry, there's a bunch of different things that go into that, right? And you got to teach that. There's so many ins and outs. What's the most confusing of it all?
I would say the most confusing of it all is where you can lawfully carry and where you can't, because not all businesses have to post the sign. as the state's attorney likes to say, the magic sign, which is 4x6, and it has to be so and so and so and so. But there are a lot of places that don't have to post. And there's a lot of confusion on the FOID law, which has been confusing since 1969 when they implemented that. And hopefully soon they will be finding that unconstitutional.
Let's hope so. I'm right there with you on it. In terms of your class and in terms of comparing it to others, we've seen in the, newspapers recently that some people had, FOID cards getting taken away and things like that because of some of the classes. But you guys are really structured. You have just a huge following and also just a great team. What's different from your classes than compared to some of the other, I would say, I guess, competitors in your guys' industry? I mean, it seems like you guys are industry standard for what Class 2 take.
Thank you. I sure appreciate that. Yeah, I have two other instructors, and it's the first instructor I brought on was Gene Flowers. Mm-hmm. He's worked at Winchester for some 50-odd years and is a regional and national champion in handgun shooting.
Wow.
He also knows the ins and out of all the ammo and everything else. And then another thing that makes my class unique is we have a lady instructor. Her name is Allison Vandersand. She's out of Carrollton, and she's one of the few female instructors around. And that's hugely critical because ladies have a harder time concealing a weapon than men do.
I can see that. Yeah, a little easy.
It seems to boil down to we wear belts and they don't. So Allison shows them all the different methods of holsters, where to carry, how to carry, and handguns that are more suitable for ladies that may not be normal.
That's incredible. And to me, the ladies' classes, I always notice because I'm friends with you on Facebook. I see the posts of Trigger Talent. Those classes seem like they fill up even quicker than all the other ones. I mean, those are really well attended.
They actually do, and it's understandable because a lot of women apparently don't want to attend a class where there's a bunch of alpha males.
Yep.
Talking trash and being macho and everything else, and they're just more comfortable in a ladies-only class. And come to find out, they're often very open in their experiences as a female and the threats that they've happened in their lives.
Right.
And it's kind of scary because actually ladies and seniors need to carry more often and everywhere than the average male, just because predators pick on those people. They think they're weak.
Until they see what's in their,
Until they find out. Yep.
That's true. So take us through the course of since you started to where we are now. Has anything really changed in the law and anything that you've had to teach? Has anything been redeveloped that you've had to kind of adapt to?
Actually, not that much has changed.
Really?
After 5 years, they want to do it's by law, we have to do a 3-hour refresher course.
Okay.
And of course, pay the state another $150 to get your license renewed. But all the naysayers, especially up in Chicago and Springfield North, of course, thought that this would turn into the Wild West and all of us concealed carriers would be cowboys and shooting people down the streets. Well, that hasn't happened, except for when it's been justified.
Right.
And so the legislators have not felt a need to change the law. There's been a few tweaks, but it's been in our favor.
Okay. That's interesting because so many times we, right off the top, I kind of categorize Illinois as not really being, for the gun owner or the legal gun owner, I guess is the right term. But is that kind of surprising to you too, that we've kind of stayed consistent with that?
It is surprising.
That's incredible. And so coming up this year, when are your classes and how can people take them?
Well, I usually take the winter off and sometimes the fall.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, for hunting season.
Yep, don't blame you.
Yeah, and because we shoot outside, my next class starts in March.
Okay.
And I have them every other month. I think I've got them scheduled through probably October or November. And we hold them out at the VFW, out on Albee by Roberts Ford. And we shoot outdoors at the Proving Ground. And it's a fantastic range. In fact, in my opinion, it's the best range in the area because an outdoor range, you can actually wear your pistol concealed out there, move and shoot and do real tactical shooting.
Real life scenario stuff, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And the best way to reach me and sign up, of course, you can call me anytime. My number's on my webpage, but it's www.triggertalent.com.
Awesome. And I got to ask you, you've taught this class a long time. Has there ever been anyone coming in with some wacky or wild stories that you've heard? You can't say names, I know, but there's got to be one or two that you're going, oh my God, what did I do? What's happening here?
We have taught over 5,200 students, as far as I know.
Serious?
More than anybody else in the state of Illinois.
That's incredible.
And we've been audited by the state police. They actually spent 3 hours in my office doing the audit. The audit just lasted a half hour. But I sat with 3 of these guys from ISP, and actually they were really cool and very upfront, and they were really trying to help we instructors as long as we do things right. But the wackiest story is we had a guy who reminded us a lot of Kevin Hart. But he was asking questions, trying to figure out a way he could legally shoot a boyfriend living with his girlfriend in his own house. And he kept asking these questions. And we're all looking at him like, dude, you've got 25 witnesses in here that if you shoot this guy, we're going to testify against you that you were trying to mechanic a way to legally murder this guy. And come to find out, like Kevin Hart, he was trying to be funny.
Oh, no.
But in kind of a weird little way. And it was a little challenging there for a minute.
You're going, can we even let this guy take the class?
It was getting close. It was really getting close.
Wow.
Yeah. But the guy is even actually a part-time stand-up comedian. So kind of weighed all that through there. And if he was serious at all, we certainly talked him down off that ledge, because there is no way you can legally murder somebody.
No.
And I'm not going to teach anybody to do that either.
I don't think there's any state jurisdiction for that. Any different, every state's this.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, it might have been a half joke. He's kind of feeling you guys out. What are they going to rat me out or what?
Yeah, he was trying to be entertaining, but I also think he was fishing a little bit.
Yeah, I could see it. And honestly, I would think you get a lot of the jokes where like the husband and wife do the class together, and the wife's like checking her husband out, going, "All right, that dishes better be done by the time I get home now, son."
There are a lot of jokes that go around the classroom, and we always try to keep it light.
That's what I think's so great, because you're teaching and really knowledgeable, but it seems like the morale of every class you have is really up, and everyone's really engaged and really enthused about being there.
It is. Thank you. Yeah.
That's really cool. And Mark, really appreciate you taking the time out today. For more information, triggertalent.com for the classes, hopefully starting in March, back up again every other month.
Every other month, and I will schedule handgun tactical classes in between.
Oh, cool. What are those?
Those are really exciting because I keep the class small, about 10 to 15 students, no more than 15. And it's run and gun. We really teach you how to conceal your weapon, draw your weapon, shoot at close range, mid-range, instinct shooting, point shooting, aim firing, firing from barricades, from behind walls, cover, concealment, even from a vehicle and around a vehicle.
Wow.
Kind of like carjacking scenarios. We really go into it, and it's a lot of fun.
That sounds really, really cool.
That's the real shooting. That's the real training.
All right, now my interest is very much piqued. All right, best way to end it right here, 10:49. Mark, thank you so much for your time. Guys, really and highly encourage you guys, if you haven't yet, take the class. My parents, like I said, they are just, they were thrilled with it. They learned a lot. And I do have one bone to pick with you. When my dad came back from the class, and I know he might be watching, I had to hear about every damn law there was. Oh my God, it wouldn't end. But that's because you know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
10:49 on this 5th day of January. A quick break. We wrap up our daily show after this in the heart of the Riverbend.